Hello, my friends. RadRevRob here. I don't believe much in coincidences, especially these days. And on April the 11th, I bought this shirt from Old Navy. I have never even watched the entire movie before, and I've never seen the sequels. Went on the ride as a kid. But anyway, I thought it was just kind of ironic, maybe prophetic. Also, just found out me and my wife are blocked from True Crime Rye, whoever that is. I've not been watching their material anyway. I want to just talk to you guys about my major questions. These are my major questions. We knew Micah, and we want to help bring justice to her family. We want to see this kind of church abuse and career criminals get the heck out of the pulpit. My first question is this. There are numerous Dick's pawn shops in Myrtle Beach. And yesterday, me and my wife and our children, we were driving back from Conway on Route 501. And there is a Dick's pawn shop on 501 on the way to Conway, which is on the way to Mullins. Now, a lot of people are speculating because there was a homeless facility behind the pawn shop that perhaps that was one of the sites of JP's alleged picking up homeless people for different types of abuse and having Micah involved in that. You know, knowing how trauma works, I find it really hard to believe that she would go right back to that site, especially if he has connections in that pawn shop. Now, I don't know if he does. It's not confirmed yet. And if it does get confirmed, we'll let you guys know because I did hear somebody talking about that. But I did hear a clip one time of him talking about how they know how the camera footage works in a pawn shop, and some homeless people he was trying to pay, he ended up catching them trying to pawn off church equipment through the pawn shop cameras. And I'm thinking, well, why would he have access to the pawn shop cameras? So that's sus. But even especially so, why would Micah pick to go to that one? So just so you guys have a little bit of an idea, from her apartments up to her job is one shot, but to go out toward Mullins, she would have gotten on 501 before that point, and she could have just hit the Dick's Pawn Shop on 501 that's on the way to Conway and that's on the way to Mullins. And, we didn't realize this till we were driving around the other day. Anyway, so why that pawn shop? Okay, the next question I have. National parks. It does not take a rocket scientist to figure out there's no national parks near Myrtle Beach. Now, she lived in Myrtle Beach a long time. She knew what state parks were here. I'm going to say that again. She knew what state parks were here. The main two state parks are Myrtle Beach State Park and Huntington Beach State Park. Now, even here, living in Myrtle Beach, I Googled from my house national parks near me, and it only brings up state parks. And Lumber River State Park is one of them, but it's way down the list. There's other ones that are much closer. So, number one, why, especially if she loved the state parks here, why would she have searched national parks near me? Like, guys, we're not near Yellowstone. We're not near Yosemite. Now, the other question would be, did she Google national parks near me in Myrtle Beach? Or did she Google national parks near me from Mullins or on the way, somewhere between? To me, it wouldn't have made a major difference if it was on the way, but we have yet to actually go to Mullins and then Google it and see where Lumber River State Park pops up on that list. Now, if you've done that, let us know. Okay, my next question would be, why was her Google account not signed into? I know that for me, if I want to sign out of my Google accounts, because I have a few different Google emails, I have to keep doing it over and over because it always ends up signed in on all my devices. The other day, one of Micah's very closest friends told me and my wife that she had multiple different numbers in a short span of time, always different burner phones, trying to get away from JP. Now, this is what they told us. She always had different numbers, and because of the medications that she was being forced to take, she half the time was confused and wasn't even sure where she was. And they told me she always had her home, her work, her church, and the normal places that she would go to. She had that saved and marked in her maps. And why on that picture of her phone from Robeson County in the report? Why is, first of all, Google's not signed into. Number two, the only search history that comes up is has to do with that specific trip on April 27th and nothing else. Number three, why was nothing programmed for home? Nothing was programmed for work. There was nothing programmed at all. And that is sus, according to what the people closest to her have been telling us. Next question is, why was Southport in her phone? In speaking with, again, people closest to her, they said she had never been to Southport before. So could it have been a diversion to make it look like she was kind of trying to decide where she was going to go? Or if she was, the plan would be to say that she was going up to Charlotte's home, that would be north, if she was going to go up through the Southport direction, or if she was going to go up more through the Lumberton direction. Even though one is more out of the way than the other, it is possible to get there both of those ways. And interestingly enough, back in 2013, there was a film, and I don't remember the name of it, but it was about escaping a domestic violence situation, and the lady flees to Southport, North Carolina, which is exactly what Micah had in her phone. My next question of things I think is really important to take into account. Who has been silent during all this? Who's been absolutely outraged, like myself, and who's been silent? Silence can certainly mean sus. And in this case, Reginald Wayne Miller, whatever his name is, JP's father, he made one Facebook post that kind of seemed to insinuate some mourning over the loss of Micah, I think early on that day or the day after. And then that was it. His physical Bible college location disappeared. He has no car registered to his name. He has no apartment or address currently registered to his name. What car has he been driving around? I hope it's not Micah's white car that appeared in the church parking lot the other day. I mean, it's just a theory and it's just my opinion, but I think it's quite plausible. Let's not forget that all the other times we've heard from Reginald Wayne Miller, it's been a smear campaign against Micah. It's been echoing all of JP's kind of narcissistic, ramblings about the whole thing. And he also allegedly likes to hang out with kidnappers and pedophiles, talking about Wayne, because this Robert Troy Taylor guy, by the way, is on Facebook right now going by Anthony Michael Perez. And he's also singing in the Garden City Quartet, ministering at churches near you, and serving ice cream recently through his ice cream truck to small children at church events. Imagine that. Yeah, old Wayne, he's been very, very, very quiet through all this. I wonder where he was on April 27th. No one's been charged with anything. I would just like to know. So lastly, now let's talk about why would it be convenient for this crime scene to happen where it happened. Well, listen, see, to common folk, it's not convenient. It's like, why would you go all the way? This is what I hear. Why would you go all the way up there and do that? Well, but see, for criminal activity, it would be very convenient for it to happen where it did. And specifically to a criminal who likes to cover their tracks. Could she have been getting step-by-step instructions and was waiting in Mullins for the next instructions shortly after she pulled out of the gas station? Could she have been pulled over? That black car she was driving was not registered to her name. It was registered to her roommate's name. But you know what the Robeson County Sheriff's Department said in the report? That they ran it and it was Micah Miller's car. I don't think so. Why can you see her credit cards in her wallet by the shifter in the front of her car? Why can you see her sunglasses in the car when it was a sunny day to go for a hike unless she took them off to drive and then was intercepted? Why did the police say in the report they found the gun in the water, but in the police call log they say the gun was found in the vehicle? And if the investigation of her death is in fact closed, as they claim, why will they not release any more information? Why will they not release her effects? Why will they not release the full footage of the 911 calls? I mean, they had no problem giving everybody that was nearby, information on the crime scene. Why don't you just go ahead and give us the names of the kayakers too? Justice for Micah.